Welcome to my channel Study GK. Today our topic is the human brain. We will be discussing 30 of the most important questions for all competitive exams. What is the outer layer of the brain called? The answer is the cortex. Which part of the brain controls basic life functions like breathing and heartbeat? The brainstem. What is the main relay center of the brain for sensory information? The thalamus. Which lobe of the brain is responsible for processing visual information? The occipital lobe. What is the primary motor area of the brain? The motor cortex. Which neurotransmitter is associated with mood regulation and pleasure? Dopamine. What is the largest part of the brain responsible for voluntary muscle movements and complex cognitive functions? The cerebrum. Which structure connects the two hemispheres of the brain? The corpus callosum. What is the center for emotional responses in the brain? The amygdala. Which part of the brain regulates body temperature, hunger, and thirst? The hypothalamus. Which lobe is involved in processing auditory information? The temporal lobe. What is the function of the cerebellum? It coordinates voluntary movements and balance. Which neurotransmitter is associated with sleep and mood regulation? Serotonin. What is the master gland that controls the endocrine system? The pituitary gland. Which part of the brain is responsible for planning, reasoning, and decision-making? The frontal lobe. What is the primary sensory area for touch and pressure in the brain? The somatosensory cortex. Which structure in the brain is responsible for the formation of new memories? The hippocampus. What is the fluid-filled ventricle located in the center of the brain called? The third ventricle. Which neurotransmitter is associated with learning and memory? Acetylcholine. What is the function of the pineal gland? It regulates the sleep-wake cycle and produces melatonin. Which part of the brain is responsible for language comprehension? Wernicke's area. What is the term for the protective covering of nerve fibers that speeds up neural transmission? Myelin. Which part of the brainstem is responsible for alertness and consciousness? The reticular formation. What is the function of the medulla oblongata? It regulates involuntary functions like breathing and heart rate. Which area of the brain is associated with spatial awareness and navigation? The parietal lobe. What is the role of the basal ganglia in the brain? It is involved in motor control and coordination of movement. Which neurotransmitter is often associated with pain perception and pleasure? Endorphins. What is the central sulcus in the brain responsible for? It separates the frontal and parietal lobes and is involved in motor and sensory functions. What is the term for the process of forming new neurons in the adult brain? Neurogenesis. Which part of the brain is responsible for regulating circadian rhythms? The suprachiasmatic nucleus in the hypothalamus. Thank you for watching this video on the human brain. Don't forget to subscribe to Study GK for more educational content.